All right, we are live for the 60th episode of the
Let's go podcast. We're back, number 60.
That's
I
some
like
of
that
that old
number.
energy. Yeah,
It
number
sounds. I feel
60.
like we're old.
We've slowed down a
I feel
little
like we're.
bit. We haven't been doing too many interview podcasts this season, but Baruch Hashem, because we're busy with so many different things, including the upcoming Gridiron Gauntlet, which is really a lot of work. Never was part of a tournament before, but it's very exciting.
Yeah, Gridiron Gauntlet. The word on the street is that it's going to be the best sports tournament in the history of sports Jewish tournaments. Jonas
Okay.
Alondra is doing a fantastic job
He is.
recruiting. Everyone is begging for a spot. We currently have a free agent chat with almost 30 players, but a real free agent chat, not like one of those fake ones with 15 commissioners and 10 directors and 3 players. But a lot of players in there, and
And
it's going
there's
to be
an
super
elite
exciting.
QB available in that chat. David
May or
Gottlieb
may not be
is
David Gottlieb.
David Gottlieb is an elite QB who's ready to play for any team that will sign him. He also needs his fee covered. But with the talent you get,
If
it's
he needs a
worth it.
quarterback, reach out to David Gottlieb. I can give you his number after.
Have there been any
Um,
basketball tournaments in the Jewish world?
there's like mini 3-on-3 tournaments. I don't think any five. It's hard to do a basketball tournament. Same reason it's hard to do a football tournament because it's so much. It takes so much energy. Like how many basketball games can you play in the same day? So like if they do like 3-on-3 tournaments, like mini short games. It's hard to do like 5-on-5 basketball game tournaments because once you're playing 3-4 games and within 3-4 hours, it gets really tiring. The same reason why football, which is Jonason's, has a really good idea, which everyone will find out about shortly. We're also open for sponsorships. We'll be more public with that next week. But if anyone wants to support a tremendous, tremendous cause, Cherry Hill is an amazing, amazing yeshiva, and they have a specific scholarship fund to help boys who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford to go to Yeshiva Cherry Hill to help support them. They have a lot of boys currently attending who are there strictly through their scholarship fund. We want them to continue to be able to go to the school, even though they're can't afford it, but we could do our best to help them out. So it's a great cause. We have some great marketing as well. Obviously, the HSL has all their tools together with the yeshiva and with everything the tournament brings at the tournament day itself. So if there's any interest, we already have a few sponsors reaching out to us. Definitely let us know, and we'll take care of you, make it happen, and it's all for tzedakah as well. Okay, let's get into it here. We have the week 3 power rankings or week 4 power
Week
rankings,
four,
depending on
week
how you look
four
at it.
power rankings.
Week 4 power rankings. We are heading we are officially at our halfway point of the season. And before we start, I just want to say,
Wait,
there are a
Avi,
lot of
no, it's
teams.
week five power rankings. Four games have been
Correct.
played, right? Four games have been
Yeah.
played. Week five,
Week
we call
five,
that
right?
week
We do a
five
power
power
rankings
rankings.
before the season started. Right, right, right.
Right. Week five power rankings.
So before we get started, and Mr. Golliver has to run at 10 o'clock without telling me until 2 minutes ago. Before we get started, I just want to say that we have a lot of teams who are struggling and struggling big time. We currently have 5 1-3 teams, or six. Yeah, we have 5 1-3 teams, and we have one 0-4 team. But just for everyone to keep their heads up, um, those 5 1-3 teams are fighting right now three, for the final 2 wildcard spots. So we have a 5-way tie for the final 2 spots in the playoffs. So even if you're 1-3 right now, season ended right now, you'd be in a 5-way tie for the final 2 spots. And even the 0-4 team, they're one game back. So anything could happen. You win this week, and you're in the playoffs, basically. So, that's part of why we did establish this 4-game wild card round before you hit the actual final 8. It's in order to get more teams to be able to qualify and get into the dance. So as we enter week 5 through our halfway point, every single team is very much still in contention. There are a lot of teams we'll go through right now who are 1-3 or 0-4, but 3 of their 4 losses came by 4 or less points. So keep the head up, keep on going, and we still have 4 games left. Okay, on to the power rankings. So coming in at 14 and actually moving down a spot is MS Motors. I was very excited
Oof.
last week to move them up to 13 after they came a big comeback win led by Mr. Alon Jakubowicz. Forgot exactly how to pronounce the last name, who won the Player of the Week. Dominated last game against Boris M. Law Officer Roman Amanov. Came back down 19. I was all excited, moving up to 13. And MS Motors got absolutely obliterated. They played day 3 Rise to Fly, one of our top teams in the league. And even with Alone there and Alone doing his thing, I think he had like 20 points. He had another dunk, which I actually got on video, got on camera, some good content. A bunch of rebounds. They got absolutely destroyed. They lost by I think 20, maybe also 15 points. They're down by 20 to 30, 25 to 35 all game. So they're back down to 14. Coming in at 13 as a very impressive win is law offices of Roman Aminoff for RSM tax planning against my boys, Barbacoa. My good friend Yehuda Kess made his debut. Hopefully they'll get him eligible with Zeke Conway in Israel. I'm not sure his status in the playoffs. It was a really tight game, back and forth. Barbacoa was up early 10-0, and then it was tied with 10 minutes to go or 5 minutes to go in the first half, and the whole game literally remained tied the whole game until the final minutes. Barbacoa down by three. Gav Rosenbluth had a Kobe Bryant fadeaway three from the wing and
Way to
banked
be
it
Gav.
off the rim. Gav shot the ball with 8 seconds left. He claimed that he heard someone counting down from three, so he thought he had to get the shot off. But it almost went in, but it went short. And then Moshe Kraft hit two free throws to seal it. So Lobster Roman Aminoff with the big win. They get on the board. They're no longer winless. They go to 1-3. They're at 13. Coming in at 12, and a little bit of a controversial statement you would say is the 0-4 addictive ad Simchas by Shloyo. You know, with law offices now 1-3 and Simchas by Shloyo addictive ads 0-4, you would say why are they 13 and addictive ads law Simchas by Shlomo 12? The answer to that is that I've seen a lot more consistency from addictive ads Simchas by Shloyo. They've been in almost every one of the games they played, even against the better teams. They played Olam Realty this past week. They ended up losing by 20 or so points, but they were pretty much tied at halftime. They hung around, and Olam Realty eventually did pull away. I was speaking to Bjorn Roberts on the phone yesterday, and he was actually, you know, saying that they're sort of similar to Link Home Care in a way where, they sort of like, sort of chill through the first glide through the first half of the game. And once they realize they need to pick it up, they pick it up. But for that reason, Addictive Ads, most by Schloyer, not one of those teams, as I was saying earlier, 0-4, but all it takes is 1 week. You get a win, you're back in the playoff race, might even be in a playoff spot. And a team like that, they have a really solid team. Everyone on the team, similar to Barbacoa, really solid team. And speaking of Barbacoa, they come in at 11.
Wait,
They're
but
going to remain
before
the
that,
same.
just while we're talking about addictive ads, I don't know if I mentioned last time, I had a friend who used addictive ads for the first time as a client, bought their big views package, and was very, very happy with the results of the marketing conducted by
I don't
addictive
know. I haven't
ads.
heard anybody who has not been happy with addictive ads. Like Jake Byrne has so many connections with so many people, um, including us, the HSL. We definitely benefit, and he really, really gets the job done. Like he knows so many people, and with so not only so many people, but so many people in so many different areas all over that if you ever need a market to any place, he's there. So at least from my experience, and the guy is a genius marketer. He's all over the place. I don't think there's anybody who doesn't know who addictive ads is at this point.
He's better than
Jake's a
you,
very good
Avi.
partner of ours, and we really what?
He's better than you.
Debatable.
Wow, he's in
Probably
the
not.
conversation.
I don't think anybody's better than me. I think I'm the best marketer out there. Just my humble opinion. Chavetz raffle coming up in a couple months. Anyways, so Barbacoa will stay at 11. They did lose. It was a tightly contested game. Similar to Addictive Ads, they're a really good all-around team. And yes, they're 1-3. However, two of their three losses came by three or less points. Their win also came by three or less points, but they could easily be 3-1, 2-2, or 3-1, the same way they're 1-3. So they'll stay at number 11. Gordon Companies at 10 will stay the same as well. Gordon Companies also played a really, really good team in the Vly Vipers. Vly Vipers are, you know, very well rounded. They have a couple of studs who are played this past week. They haven't been so consistent. I don't want to get their names wrong because I've gotten it wrong before in the podcast.
Is Noah
Shet
Aaron playing for
Hofer,
the Vipers? Noah Aaron playing?
yes, Noah Aaron actually played this past game. I think it was his second game played, so he needs one more to qualify. But even beside for Noah, who's a great body inside, and him and Jack Ross had a really really fun battle. Jack had another great game, really trying to carry this Gordon Company team, who's just
Really?
keeps stays in the game, and then they just lose the gas. And it's the same thing every time.
Who's better, Noah
Other than
or
the week,
Jack?
Jack's better.
Jack's better. Who's
Jack's better.
bigger?
I feel
Who's
like
bigger?
I feel like Noah Aaron is a fantastic basketball player and a fantastic softball player, but I think Jack's got a little bit
A
more in both.
little bit of an edge in each.
Listen, I
Who's
love
bigger?
Noah. He's our starting for Noah Aaron, starting first baseman for our unknown team name slash center fielder for the HSL Spring Titans softball season. Um, love Noah. He also rakes me. He's one of the guys that I just cannot get out at the plate. He hits bombs off me. but I would give Jack Ross a nod over Noah Aaron, as the big man in basketball and also as the softball
Is he
player as
bigger?
well. But
Is
Noah's
Jack
still
bigger than
fantastic.
Noah?
It's funny. I think Jack might be a little taller. Noah's definitely thicker. Noah's a big body.
Yeah, he's
He's a
big. He's
big,
big.
big body.
Yeah.
But they had a good battle. But yeah, it was also Gordon Companies hung around. I think they're even up by two, maybe down by two at halftime, but then Fly Vipers just pulled away. So Gordon competed. They played well, but they are 1-3. They'll stay at the 10. Sorry about that. Coming in at the 9, in another case of competing and getting pulled away, is Andy's Kitchen Lot Pizzeria. Mr. Ibrahimi and the boys, they have a really talented team. They have good scorers, they have good shooters, they play zero defense. Although they did hold Link Home Care to very few points, which we'll get to in a little bit, but they play zero defense and they have zero bigs. So they really can't do anything inside or on defense. They did compete with Link, who is the best team in the league. Link played without All Swing, and we'll get into them in a little bit. But Andy's Kitchen Lamp Pizzeria will stay at 9. And then, honestly, we have a little bit of a boring stretch here. Half Construction will stay at 8. Half Construction played without their two best players and got annihilated by Jules by DK. But I'm not really going to count that much for Half Construction because they were missing their two best players. My boys, Elon Shamsayev and Moshe Stayev, went the went the full 32 minutes, which isn't so easy for them. Well, Stayev a little easier, but Elon's more of the coach on the team. He does get minutes, but you don't necessarily want those guys out there on the court for all 32 minutes. They're missing two young studs, point guard and fantastic shooter who weren't there. So I'm not really going to count that much. Although they did put up a good fight and they hung around for the first chunk of the game. Coming in at 7 and staying at 7, and Dylan's going to get upset at me again, but I'm going to have to stay, is Fly Vipers. Fly Vipers, like I said, have a really good team when they're all there. I personally think they could beat anybody. They could beat Link, they could beat Olam if they're clicking on all cylinders. They did beat up on a Gordon Company team that's one of the bottom teams in the league right now. So they'll stay at 7. Coming in at 6 and staying at 6 is Day 3 Rides to Fly. Played the worst team in the league at MS Motors. They did what they had to do. Um,
Took care of
they
business.
dominated. They dominated. We saw Gershi Lift. Is Gershi his first name? One of the Lifts. I forgot his
I
first
don't
name.
know.
I don't want to get it wrong. It's a lot of Lift brothers. But Lift was playing again in his second game. He had a really, really nice game. And they played well. They did what they had to do. They actually had Morty Pearl make his debut, who is probably a top 3 player in the league, or top 5 for sure, if he plays, but he's in Lakewood. He had a VART in the New York area, and they're trying to somehow get him playoff eligible. We'll see if they can make it happen. But if he gets onto their playoff roster, I'll put them right up there with Lincoln Olam, like right up there with Lincoln Olam. But for now, they'll remain in 6. And now the top 5 is the 3 to 5s where we get a little tricky. Um, we have Royal Adjuster, Jules with Deacon, under 5'10", Pipe Doctor. Royal Adjuster came in at 3 last week. I'm moving them down to 5, and here's why. Jonathan Baez is a stud. He's probably the best, if not second, maybe third best in the league. Um, I, as of now, from what I've seen, um, it's too inconsistent in terms of players showing up. When Royal Adjuster shows up with their full team, including Jack Klein, who's, in my opinion, the best 3-point shooter in the league, and with Baez, I think they're, like I said, up there with anybody. I think they can beat anybody. I haven't seen consistency. The roster is very unstable. I'm not trying to be super, super like, what's the word? Not trying to be
Diplomatic.
super, what?
Diplomatic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be super like the NFL football locker room is like unstable, but like they're just all over the place. They'll come in with
Oh, I missed
5
what
guys
you were
one
saying.
game,
Okay.
then they'll come in with their regular 8 the next game. So until I see a little more stability, I was told Jonathan Baez is playing the last 5 weeks, and he was supposed to play in 20 minutes before the game started. He didn't. He was told he wasn't showing up for whatever reason.
So
He
they're a
came
little
late. I don't know.
chaotic.
A little chaotic. So, until I see more consistency, they're going to drop to 5. Coming in at 4 and staying the same as Jules by DK, who took advantage of that chaotic Royal Adjuster team and pummeled them. They're up by 15 to 20 the whole game. They made a little bit of a late run, Royal Adjuster, but Jules by DK got the job done. Fantastic team. My boy Samson there again for the second week in a row. Just a really good team, a really good all around team. Just a lot of solid, good players. They know what they're doing. They know how to play together. Speaking of solid, good players who know what they're doing and know how to play together, coming in at 3 and moving up 2 spots from number 5 is under 5'10" Pipe Doctor. We got to finally see the debut of Jaime Salem. Caleb Pound has been pumping Jaime Salem up for forever, and the guy is legit. He's a truck. He has a sick 3-point shot. He's a big dude. He knows what he's doing, and I am, honestly, I think I underestimated under 5'10" Pipe Doctor. When they have their whole team there, including Jaime, they are really, really a big team to deal with. They're athletic, they're fun, they're fast, and they're big inside.
And he's
And
got a
one and
great
two
no
will stay the
look
same.
three.
Oh, that was beautiful. Beautiful. Legitimate no look for Yossi Levenger. And the top two will stay the same. As much as Mr. Robinson keeps on telling me to put them one, I will not. Olam Realty did have a big win. They beat up on who they were supposed to beat up on. They pulled away in the second half to defeat. Um,
Avi, you ever have something
yeah.
where you come up with a funny line like an hour later and you're like, damn, I wish I said that at the time? So, yesterday in the chat, there was a poll whose look away three was better. No
hmm
look three was better. So, Salem dominated Levenger, and I commented, looks like Levenger took the L. You said, yes, as per usual. And then I thought of a line. I was thinking about Yossi Levenger. I was falling asleep last night. I just posted a line now. People are calling him Yossi LLLLL Levenger.
Listen, Yossi actually had I think three straight threes last night. He actually played pretty well.
Wow.
I was a little impressed with him. Yeah. So Yossi definitely didn't get the L last night. Link Home Care will remain number one in the power rankings. Yashul Wasser came strolling into the gym, telling me how tired he was, that he went skiing and got up at 5 in the morning,
He
and
scored
how he's not going to
45
make it through the
points.
game. And he asked for us to cancel the game and call it a tie because he's too tired. And then Link Home Care goes on to sleepwalk through the first half. They're down by 6, upset alert in full effect. Ari Allswing is there claiming he's hurt even though he's walking fine, standing on the sideline, coaching his team. And then, as per usual, Link Homecare pulls the leg on everybody. They wake up in the second half. Pacey Jacoby, absolutely, in my opinion, the best pure scorer in the league. The guy is a stud, legit stud. They just pummel, and he's catching up three. It's the same story over and over again. Link sleepwalks, and whenever they want, they wake up and they dominate. So I know a few weeks ago I said that Link this year around, you're not going to do that. I guess there are certain teams they could do that against. They sleptwalked the first half. Second half, they woke up, ended up winning by 15 or so points. They solely and they fully dominated that second half, and will remain number one in the power rankings. The only undefeated team, though, will remain Olam Realty at 4-0. We have a bunch of 3-1 teams. I don't think we have any 2-2 teams. We might have one, but I don't think so. We have a 4-0 team, a lot of 3-1 teams, a lot of 1-3 teams, and one 0-4 team. So that's your power rankings for week 5. We are officially at the halfway point of the season. This is going to make for an amazing second half of the season. I do apologize in advance for this coming week. I know there are a couple teams that are having issues with their rosters. I tried my best. I tried switching games. I tried flipping weeks. It messed up other teams. I wrote a message on the captain's chat. Um, I will always try my best to help teams out. I will. That's what I do. That's what I do for a living. It's my customer service. I don't like not doing it. However, it's not my responsibility ultimately. The schedule's out before the season. Ultimately, it's a team's
Correct.
responsibility to field the team. I will always do my best to help. For example, this week, I tried doing everything I could. I know Ellie Dax has his whole team at a simcha, at a Vard and a wedding Sunday night. I know Daniel Ibrahimi in 2 weeks, in week 6, has his whole team at a wedding. I told teams that they want to figure it out and get 2 different games to pick a night. I could try to get Dom and Jared to come. I'm not going to get them to come for one game. It's not fair to them. But if they want to move their game and someone else wants to move another game and put them both on a Monday or Wednesday night, I could try to work it out. But ultimately, that's up to the team to figure it out.
And like I said
We're always
last
here for
week,
anyone.
people should know how hard Commissioner Avi works at keeping everybody happy. In my opinion, much too hard at keeping everybody happy. So
Yeah.
people should just be aware of that.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, we're always here to try to help, but ultimately, it is the team's responsibility to make sure that they're showing up for their games, even if they have to get 7 backups. We never want to see any forfeits, obviously. Not only for the team to forfeit, but for the other team, it's not fair they don't get to play a game.
All right, I got to
So
jump
yeah,
off,
that'll do
Avi.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you guys. We will see you next week. HSL Gridiron Gauntlet, Cherry Hill,
Oh,
Yeshiva,
we should
support
really
them.
do a podcast with Jonason Daniel Lowinger about the Gridiron
We should, and
Gauntlet.
also with Ray Davidowitz.
Oh yeah, I read the video. That'd
Yeah,
be fun. That'd be a
and we
lot of
owe
fun.
Aaron Gordon, and we owe and Aaron Gordon a podcast as well.
We'll have
Gordon
Aaron Gordon on
Companies are
once
coming.
he has you on. Once he has you on, keep hustling.
That's true. Yeah, he's trying to play hard to get. We'll play hard to get right back. We're coming for you, Gordon Companies. All right, thanks, guys.
Right.